Make that big boss less special. It ain't no game, but they saying welcome to the second level. Second level.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back, or welcome to, if you're new, hi, the official Level 2 podcast, episode 44. I literally had to just look that up before. I had
St. Louis, 44.
I had a false start there. I was like, 44? 44. My name's Keegan, one half Level 2 Gamers, hanging out with Tom, the other half Level 2 Gamers.
Hi.
I would say how you're doing, but you've already answered that twice today. Well, once today, technically, because you host the second one.
But I am still good.
You're still good.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, this is the official Level 2 podcast where we just kind of sit and talk about stuff. I have a topic at the beginning. We talk about a game or we talk about a subject in the middle. And then at the end, you have a topic that you talk about. That's literally what this is.
Yep.
In a nutshell.
My favorite part about this is that this is our favorite podcast to do because we can just fucking relax and be ourselves.
Yeah.
But everyone else hates it. So fuck you guys.
They don't hate it. It's
They
just,
don't hate
they don't
it. It's
care
just less
about it.
interesting. But for us, it's so nice because we just get to relax and chill and be ourselves.
We drink a giant Red Bull. I have a 20-ounce Red Bull today.
I have my squirty juice. Mio?
Your squirty juice? I don't need to know about your squirty juice,
It's
Tom.
my purple squirty juice.
So my topic for today, I was gonna have two. I'm gonna say I got one for next week though.
Okay.
'Cause sorry, David, if you're probably listening because you always listen. But I told him I'd do this topic today, but then I had a better topic that I wanted to do.
Okay.
So we're gonna do the second topic, and I have a history on YouTube. And I've told you off camera, and I can tell you guys on camera why I can't talk about it, but I'm under NDAs for a few different things.
25 years.
For 25 years. On
Are you even 25?
No.
Wow.
It was 10 years ago, so it's 25 years. So 15 years left. So, yeah. For some things
So
like
what
Soulfest.
age will you be when you can talk about it?
It's 15 years from now, so 41?
Episode 2053. We're going to talk about Keegan's past.
Yeah, well, that's why, like, when I talk about the things, I talk about Soulfest because I have no NDA there. I mean, some of the festivals, I can say who I worked for. So, like, I've worked for Ozfest. I've done Warped Tour. I've done Bamboozle. But they have close. A lot of it is you're in areas with people that have public reputations and you see and hear things that you should not see and or hear. So you're kind of like, hey, it's their personal lives.
Drugs and infidelity.
Well, not necessarily that, but there's also other now. I mean, obviously some of the music stuff doesn't matter because a lot of it's already come out. But like that was the big thing when you're like on Warped Tour. They're like, if you hear somebody doing a demo, you can't talk about it. If you hear somebody talking about something, like deals happen at Warped Tour, you can't talk about it. So things like that.
Interesting.
So that's some of it. Part of it also is the legal thing with Google. I can't talk about because
that's the one I want to hear the most
because laws.
about. Yeah.
Well, not laws, but because of settlements. That one I don't think I can ever talk about because of the settlement.
I'll get you drunk enough one day.
Yeah. But my topic today is my YouTube past, but not my YouTube past. It's my YouTube viewing past because I've been on YouTube. Do you know what year YouTube started? Let's start with that question. Do you know what year YouTube started? You're about to get the answer if you don't have the answer.
Well, give me a second.
It was its own website back in the day.
Yeah, I remember. I was there at the dawn of YouTube. I just don't remember. I want to say it was like 97.
Oh, no.
No?
Not even close. I want to make sure I get the year correct because I want to say it was 2005 was the first year of YouTube.
Okay. I felt like it was earlier than that. Because it was around the same time eBay started.
Yeah, February 14th, 2005 was when YouTube started.
Valentine's Day.
Yes. So, YouTube started in 2005. I was on the platform pretty shortly afterwards. I don't know how I found it. Like, I'm sure somebody sent me a video, and at that time, it's probably MySpace, and it was like, hey, click this link. And it's like a video. It was like any other video sharing site at that point. Right. Like, nothing had really taken over. It's just new in its infancy.
Daily Motion.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Well, I don't even think Daily Motion was around then. It was,
Vimeo, maybe?
No, Vimeo wasn't a thing either. I'm trying to think what the other one was. There was another one that I used to go to all the time, but I can't remember what it's called now. It's no longer a thing. But no, so YouTube, and then in 2006, got purchased by Google, which is now what it is today.
Was it only a year after? I feel like Google purchase was a lot later.
Nope. So it was. I can get you that date too in a second.
Please do. Because I feel like YouTube was like Wild West for a couple of years before Google purchased it. Because I remember people freaking out about it when they did.
Company history. When did they purchase it? Super Bowl, Capital Venture, Nike advertisement. I'm going to look this up real quick. When did Google...
And this is why we love this podcast, folks, is we just get to sit here and do whatever the hell we want. It's on my shirt. Audio listeners won't see it, but I quite like this shirt. Do you like this shirt?
I thought you were earlier just looking, you were wearing like a bib.
No.
Because the way the lens looks.
The light reflects it.
Yeah, October 9, 2006. Was purchased for $1.65 billion in stock.
Didn't know that.
Which was completed on November 13th.
Fair enough.
So,
I stand corrected.
So I've been watching YouTube a long time is basically what I'm saying. And I want to talk about some of the creators and some of the old videos I used to watch because I feel like... Because you said I asked you earlier about some of the ones I'm going to talk about, and you said, oh, I remember that. But I feel like you had a different perspective on YouTube than I did because I was in, as I said earlier.
I was not a content creator. I was a content consumer.
I was both a creator and a consumer, but I had the ins and outs.
I wasn't heavy into YouTube. Like, it took me a while to get like a little bit of an addiction to it, where I would get to the point where I would check it every day. But I definitely was there at the dawn, and I definitely remember. I could tell you the first video that was uploaded and all that kind of stuff.
What was the first video?
The guy at the zoo. I forget. Yeah. But and like Star Wars Kid and Chocolate Rain and all that shit. But but yeah, I was never like super into it. I just thought it was cool. And then as it progressed, I loved the rabbit holes you would go down because the suggested videos used to be way better than they are now, where you could just like click something a little bit weird and then you could literally just lose 4 hours of your life clicking the suggested videos and going on from there.
Well, now it's based on what you've already previously watched, so it recommends things very similar to it.
Yeah, but I don't like it as much.
With that being said, I'm gonna name some viral videos that I remember from back in the day. I'm gonna see if you know them. The first one you better know, because if you don't know it, I'm gonna smack you. Do you remember the Numa video?
Yeah.
So that was one that I remember watching and being like, oh my God, this is awesome. Because it's really weird to me, if you ever go back and look at like YouTube interfaces and how much it's changed, you forget what it used to look like.
Early YouTube was
YouTube YouTube used to have a favorite system and a rating system. It used to say rate, comment, and subscribe. And then there was favorite, comment, subscribe, and now it's like, comment, and subscribe. So it's interesting with like the rating system. The reason they got rid of the rating system though, went thumbs up, thumbs down, was because ratings are harder to track in a 5-star system.
True.
Like when you're trying to do rankings.
That's why Netflix got rid of it as well.
Yeah, it's way easier to track it. Like you're either gonna like this or you're not.
They went for the Reddit route.
Yes.
Just upvote or downvote.
The next viral video that I remember watching growing up was Charlie Bit My Finger. Yep. Remember that one? Charlie.
They recreated that for Tosh.0.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah.
Chocolate Rain.
Yep.
Chocolate Rain. Tazon Day.
Tazon Day. Yeah.
Yep.
What a fucking name.
He still does YouTube.
Yeah.
He has over 1 million subscribers. Still does music.
Smart dude.
He's on the Fine Brothers a lot
you
too
ever
with
heard
YouTube
him
Direct.
talk like smartly?
Yeah.
He's an intelligent.
He's
man.
incredible.
Yeah.
The next two were released on the exact same day by the same creator and amassed over 1 million views within the first, I think, week they were online.
Go for it.
Muffins.
I need more context.
And shoes.
The word muffins and shoes.
Muffins and shoes.
I don't think I know those.
Oh my God, shoes. These shoes rule. No. These shoes suck.
I definitely don't.
Liam Kyle Sullivan was the creator who did that. They were his 2 most successful videos, and he just happened to release them on the exact same day. So the shoes video, people probably know that one more because it's the one that went more viral. It was him dressed up in drag, and basically his family was like, what are you going to get for Christmas? Condoms. And then he wanted to go out and buy shoes. And it just turned into a song about shoes. And I remember the end of it, you go from talking about shoes, because there's this middle of the song, he's like, he goes to buy the shoes. He goes, these shoes are $300. These shoes are $300. These shoes are $300 fucking dollars. Fuck you! And it just like turns demonic. And like fire, like half naked ladies with fire hula hoops going on. I was just like, that took a turn. Like it was
interesting.
It really was interesting. And then this is back in the day when like scripted videos like that were a thing that you could do. Sketch comedy no longer really exists on YouTube because the way the algorithm's built, it's kind of squashed a lot of them. That's why
Funny or Die and people like that do okay.
Well, it's because they're doing things outside of YouTube though too. They have their own website, but strictly on YouTube, like That's why animation's not as big as it used to be. Animation used to be the way to do it because the amount of views it would get and traffic it would drive. But now YouTube looks at watch time, so it's better to watch. If you, like us, we do an hour and a half. Even if somebody watches a half of that, that's 45 minutes versus an animation that'll take you, like the Bumbles one took them 3.5, 4 months, and it's what, 3 minutes?
Yeah.
So that's why that's where it kind of sucks because I feel like it squashes creativity a little bit.
YouTube has changed the way that it runs its algorithm so many fucking times at this point. I don't think anyone really knows the key to success.
I don't even think YouTube knows the key to success because it's so big.
Because it used to be easy to kind of not like play the system, but you at least kind of knew what they were looking for.
The way it used to be is you used to have to put if you put tags in your description, it would bump it up because it would say, hey, those are tags are in the description.
Yeah,
we want this, bump it up, and then they ban that, and then. There's always ways to be like for the longest time it was always can I get 5,000 it still happens, can I get 5,000 likes on this video, let's give me 5,000 likes, and that bumps it up initially because the engagement's high, that kind of thing. Now it's watch time, so if you've got to be there, because before it used to be
for us, we make long ass shows.
Yeah, like when that came out, I remember texting you and be like, ooh, this might actually work out for us. But muffins is basically the other one to that was him making different muffins in a character, and he's like banana TNT. Like it was just he'd talk about making different muffins and react to them.
Sounds awful.
And it was I've showed them afterwards. It's really good. If you guys remember Liam Kyle Sullivan, he actually did an interview with might have been the Fine Brothers because it was like the 10th year anniversary of the videos. Because I want to say those were probably 2007.
You realize
maybe 2006.
For the video cast of this podcast, I have to find all of these videos and put them behind us.
They're easy though. They're easy to find.
Okay.
They're viral videos. I'm now going to go in and talk about some creators I used to watch.
Sure.
And do you know, I'm going to ask you this question because you know a lot about me, but do you know the YouTube creator that got me super into YouTube?
Ray William Johnson.
No, I never watched him.
Shane Dawson.
Yes. So Shane Dawson was the one creator that I was like, I love what the man is doing. I don't watch him anymore because he's kind of changed a little bit. But Shane Dawson, he used to do his sketches with Aunt Hilda and Paris and what's his name? DZ? He had the G spot.
I used to work at Hot Topic, and I remember when we started selling Shane Dawson T-shirts, I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy, and why do I care?"
Yeah.
And then someone explained to me like everything about it. So yeah, that's the only reason I know.
Yeah, he was the guy like because he would do again the sketch comedy. I loved watching those back in the day.
Was he the Britney one?
No, that was Chris Crocker.
Okay.
Leave Britney alone.
Yeah.
That was Chris Crocker.
Okay.
But Shane Dawson, the way he would describe himself is a teenage boy with a lesbian haircut.
Fair enough.
So he would do these different characters. His mom was involved. He ended up vlogging later on as he went through and videos with his girlfriend at the time, Lisa. But like the things I remember from him is he had Shane Dawson and Friends, which I swear to God the guy had schizophrenia because it would just be different characters he created. And he showed one time a tour of his set where he's like, and this is Ned the Nerd, and he would just turn like half a little bit and like, this is Paris's, and just turn a little. This is like it was all in one room. It just you'd rotate what the camera was facing, and his Shane Dawson friends were probably my favorite because he would act out something in pop culture reference in those characters. So one of the things he used to do was my favorite one is the SDZ. That's his name. SDZ's G Spot, which was this sleazy guy that's supposed to be like a thug white rapper, but he's not a thug white rapper. Like he's that middle class white kid that thinks he's that, giving sex advice. And the joke was he probably's never slept with anybody in his life. And he would just give out this advice of like, hey, yo, SDZ's got you. If the girl comes with you, just get AIDS, don't sleep with her. Like, stuff like that. It was just like stupid shit like that where it's like, hey, you should do this. And then his Paris character I didn't like. But I used to watch him constantly. And I loved, like, that's the first one I think I truly, like, followed on YouTube. There's other ones as well. I got my list here.
Can I interject for
you
a
can
second?
interject.
Because I remembered a big moment in YouTube history just now while you were talking about that. Because I remembered Shane Dawson, Ray William Johnson, and of course Philip DeFranco is still doing really well. But wasn't there that one girl? I forget her name, but she was super popular, and then they found out that she was faking the whole thing. it was like, I want to say her name was like Sarah or something or whatever, but like she had this vlog channel, and like it was all about like her like breaking up with her boyfriend and all this kind of shit. And then they discovered that she had actually been acting the whole time, and it was like basically her kind of reel to show to filmmakers and stuff was her acting all of this stuff out. And I forget what she had, like a complicated name. It was like Sarah F52J7 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it was it was a huge thing on YouTube because people actually realized that these people that were like vlogging could actually be full of shit. But yeah, I thought you might remember that one, but I guess not. Yeah,
I'm trying to find the first Shane Dawson video I remember falling in love with, and I'm gonna make sure you have this link so you can put it up. Sure. Is the emo breakup Shane Dawson? Because Keegan was an emo kid, and which one is it? I'm gonna guess. I think it's this one. 8 years ago. This video is 8 years old. 2009. This was one I remember me like. I love this dude.
6,842,000.
So I'm gonna copy this link to the notes here, but you need to watch it. Let me turn it down a little bit. This will be exciting for you guys. Those of you who are listening won't get to see it.
You can hear it, kind of.
There you go.
Hey, what are you doing? I was just lifting weights. Cool. What are you doing? Making a Sharpie tattoo so I can freak out my mom.
It says lesbian, by the way.
I have to tell you something. Okay. I'm breaking up with you. What? It's just not gonna work out. But remember all the fun times we had together? I know, I miss that. But I found a new guy. Someone who's more Edward Cullen and not so Pete Wentz. I only had sex with a guy one time. Could you let it go? Whatever. My new boyfriend took me on a $25 shopping spree to Hot Topic. I got 3 chain chokers and a Twilight shirt. I give you things. Remember the poem I wrote for you? Yeah, it sucked. It didn't even make me want to kill myself.
So that's the Shane Dawson video. Whenever I think of him, that's the one I think of. Plus Shane and Friends, all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
So he's one that he's the reason I started getting into YouTube heavily. Like I was already in it at that point, but like as a consumer, because I did it more from a creative standpoint. There's actually, I don't know if it's still up. There was a channel called Poor Pants Production, which is what I was a part of, and we shot a pilot for an episode. And here's a little YouTube story for you.
Go for it.
So we were shooting this pilot because I'd been part of other video projects with my friends at that point, and just you get bored after school. What the hell are you gonna do? Shoot a video? And we're like, what the fuck are we gonna shoot today? Like we're here hanging out. What are we gonna do? And don't know what the premise of the story was, but basically it started out with my buddy. It was me, Alec, and Alex. So Alec is the guy I showed you, my twin from school. When you're like, you skinny fuck. That was me. And Alec, and then Alex is probably in that.
I skinny shamed you. I'm sorry.
Yes, you skinny fuck. But no. So we're sitting there in front of Alex's house. Like we want to shoot something. What are we going to shoot today? And we see a trash can, and this is how this whole sequence of events starts. We see a trash can sitting on the side of the road. So we're like, oh, okay, let's do like a trash can monster or something. Like let's figure out something we can do with this.
Naturally. So
Alex gets in the trash can. It's empty, by the way. There's no trash inside of it. It had been emptied at the point.
Still kind of gross.
Probably still gross. Yeah. I was filming. I was not I filmed everything. I don't think I acted in this one because of the pilot episode. I remember editing it afterwards, and I was like, oh, this is bad. So Alex got in the trash can. Alec got Alex's bike because we're at Alex's house. Rides up. Again, stupid shit. Rides up to the trash can, goes to throw away something in the trash can. I think it was like we had found a banana peel or something to chuck in the trash can. So Alex gets the banana peel chucked on him. He freaks out, jumps out of the trash can, scares Alec. Alec, this is really hard because it's Alec and Alex. Alec then kicks the trash can over. Alex goes flying out of the trash can onto the ground, and they pretend to fight. The next scene, I don't know why we made this jump because I don't know how we got to this sequence. The next scene is Alex had a treehouse in his backyard. And when I say treehouse, I mean like 4 planks of wood and then a platform.
Gotcha.
Like it wasn't like a full treehouse. So we had a scene of Alex up in the treehouse, which I don't know how he got there from the sequence of events. We didn't
continuity.
Tell you. Yeah, it was not a thing we had to worry about.
Right.
But Alex is up in the treehouse looking down, yelling at Alec for kicking him over. So we had that continuity going on. And then I'm behind Alec as he's climbing up to get to the treehouse to get to Alex. And I don't think this was scripted. I don't remember it being scripted, but it ended up being perfect, so we kept it. Alex kicked Alec off the treehouse. Like that part, we're like, hey, you gotta knock him. You're gonna push him back. But Alec fell, and I'm behind him, so I'm at the bottom of the tree looking up. Alec is above me, and Alex is above him. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. You following?
I'm following.
These names are not making. I should call Alex Sam.
Alec is climbing the tree. Alex is at the top of the tree.
Is in the treehouse.
Yeah.
So Alex kicks Alec down, and he falls. I have the camera in my hand. He falls on top of me, and it's just like a crash. But what worked out beautifully was when he fell, he covered the lens, so it was a blackout essentially. So we used that as a cut to then we end up in Alex's bedroom with Alec laying in the bed, and that was it. Like he was just like blacked out. He's all beat up and like, man, what? That was a crazy dream. Like, what the fuck was that? Like that was our pilot episode. Didn't go anywhere. Series never took off. There's a couple other ones that did pretty well back in the day, but that one was like the one that just shows you kind of like how bored I was type thing. It was like, let's just do something with my friends and see what we can come up with.
Gotta start somewhere.
So we found a trash can, did something with that. My favorite one I was ever a part of, there's one, the third wheel is pretty good. I shot that. And then my favorite one is we were Dead Bird Productions, DEDBERD. We did one called Gatorade, and I helped edit that. And it was basically where Gatorade came from.
Okay.
So it was me and my buddy Eric and Alec again, because Alec was always involved. It was me and Alec were like together, and Eric was he's like the third wheel of that group, and then Alex came later on in life. This is pre-Alex. So we'd come up with this concept like, where does Gatorade come from? So we have Eric dressed up as a doctor saying, hey, I just came up with this new sports drink. We're going to call it Gator shit, but we didn't realize it wasn't a good name, so we called it Gatorade. And the grossest part is we made Alec drink this bottle of Gatorade. I use air quotes for those you can't see or are listening. Gatorade. And we put the ingredients on the screen of what we put in it. So we just took a Gatorade bottle and put in, because he's supposed to drink it and be like, this tastes like shit. It was coffee grounds, dish soap.
I could kill him.
What else did we put in there? There's a whole list of things.
I'm sure you can't drink dish soap.
It wasn't like a lot. It was just it was a dab.
Bit of bleach.
Yeah, it was just a dab of dish soap. So he drank that and was like, ugh. But then we came up with the revised formula, which is what Gatorade is now. But the weirdest part was we had a scene at the end after Alec drank the Gatorade where we wanted him to pee in the toilet because his pee was supposed to turn colors from the color of the Gatorade. And we're like, how do we shoot this? Because you can't, obviously it's all camera placement. You can't like shoot a dude peeing in a toilet because it's not allowed on YouTube.
Shoot the stream.
Well, so what we did is we had Alec go in and act like he was taking down his pants.
Taking down his pants?
Does
he pee like Butters?
No, he
just dropped his straw.
But he took it down, and then we just had it where we cut the camera back to the other room, so it's from Eric's perspective, and all you hear is the hitting the water. So we just dumped a water bottle into the toilet very slowly, so it sounded like it was somebody peeing. And then you see the door open. Alec goes, Eric? He's like, yeah? Can you come in here? Okay. And then we walk in the bathroom, we shoot down, and the toilet water is red from the red Gatorade. And he's like, that's not normal, right? Nope. Gatorade. That's like an advertisement for Gatorade, is what it ended up being.
Did you get sued?
No. It doesn't have that many. It only has 500 views, but that was probably the most memorable one I remember shooting.
Wow.
Getting back, though, to other creators.
Please.
So we can move on. Do you know Lisa Schwartz? Is that a name you know? Leasebug on YouTube. That was Shane Dawson's girlfriend for the longest time. I followed her when they were together. Tyler Oakley, you said you didn't know. I talked about him. I don't like him, but I like what he does, if that makes sense. Like I followed him, but I follow him like you're following somebody who is doing good stuff, but you don't. It's like a friend that you're like, I support you doing that, but I don't personally like it. If that makes sense.
That's how I feel about that Nestat guy.
Casey Neistat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fucking weird looking dude, man.
Yes.
I find it hard to stare at him for a long period of time. But I do like that he does what he does. So I'm like, if something interesting comes up with an interesting topic, I'll watch it. But otherwise, I kind of hate him.
So Tyler Oakley is big in the LGBTQ community.
Gotcha.
He was one of the first big YouTubers that I'm aware of that came out and said, hey, I am gay. I'm openly gay. And has been a voice for them. He's been interviewed on TV. He's been in different rallies, whatever it may be. But he's been a place where people can go, like his channel, his community has been a place where people can go to kind of say, like, if they're questioning it, where can they find resources, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, he does stupid shit like challenges too and all that, but that to me is using YouTube correctly to build a community.
Using it for the better good.
Yes. Another one I used to, and I showed you her earlier, is Ingrid Nielsen. I didn't like her. She's known as the Grid Monster is her vlog channel. And then she had one called Miss Glamorazzi is like her main channel. Didn't watch her main channel. It's a makeup channel. Not really into makeup. But I thought she was cute, so I watched her vlog channel. She came out about 2 years ago, I guess now, and said she was gay, and I was super heartbroken, but also like excited because it's like that's so cool.
Yeah.
But I used to watch her all the time. Like I loved watching her vlogs. Like she is one of those people that's just like, I'm me. I don't care. She's like, I'm a woman. I fart. It happens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't try to glam up for the camera. She's like, this is my life. I'm a human being.
Except for when she does the makeup stuff.
Well, no, that's makeup tutorials and stuff like that. That's not like, look at me all pretty. This is like, here's how you do. Or she does like my morning routine. Like, what do I do to clear my skin? And it's really funny because the beauty side of YouTube is huge.
Oh, I know.
Like, I
probably
crazy.
second biggest to gaming, actually, I would say.
Vlogging might be bigger.
Yeah, but a lot of that is like one of the same. I feel like a lot of people that do
a lot of beauty gurus,
also vlog.
Yeah.
Vlog.
It's video log. And then the last one I want to talk about, and this is the guy that got me into like creative stuff outside of like Shane Dawson was like online video creative, but this is like film creative. His name is Sawyer Hartman.
Okay.
And
I thought you were going to say Freddie Wong or whatever his name is.
Sawyer Hartman. And he is known, it sucks because his channel has been dying like over the last few years, and it's just like, I think it's partially because of the way YouTube has gone algorithm-wise, and his content's kind of gotten stale, that kind of thing. But like, I remember watching his short videos, and he has a degree in film. Like he basically used YouTube initially as his portfolio, and it's gotten him some cool gigs. And like, that was the moment where I realized YouTube was not just like online cat videos or like cheaply produced Shane Dawson jump cuts. Like you can make wasn't a feature-length film, but he could do short movies, 30-minute movies or 15-minute skits or whatever it may be. And they could do well. And they could be well-produced. They could be well-lit. They could have all these things to them.
It's a perfect platform for short movie making, actually, when you think about it. Like my our friend of the show and creator of our intro, Trip Buck, and his buddy Kamos, my friends from back home, actually made a 20-minute short movie to promote their EP and put it on YouTube. It did really well. It was like a sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
They made it to promote an album, but it was just literally just a short movie, and I just thought it was really cool that that's something you can do.
Yeah.
All by yourself.
And the barrier to entry to YouTube is super small. You just, especially now because all phones have cameras.
Yeah.
Microphone is pretty much the only other thing you really need. Obviously, the nicer quality does help.
I mean, even the
microphones stand out,
on these phones aren't too bad nowadays,
no.
to be honest.
Yeah, but I would recommend getting a microphone if you're to do it. But yeah, you could start with just a phone. You could start. Most people back in the day when I started, it's called first camera I used. Do you remember the flip cams that had the USBs that popped out the side? Like it was all one unit, so you can find an image of it. Because I don't know if they're still a thing. I think they're dead, to be completely honest. The Flip Cam Ultra.
8 gigabytes, baby.
Dude, that was legit back in the day. So this.
Okay.
And it has the USB stick. No, I don't want. Oh, Amazon Smile, go away. I like charities, but. So it had the USB stick that would pop out. And that's what I started on. And then I moved up to Zoom Q3 HD. And then I moved into this DSLR territory and so on and so forth. But this thing, when it first released, it's only $50. Well, that's used. I think it was $200 for the 8 gigabyte. But it's one of those things like back in the day, you didn't need HD. HD wasn't a thing on YouTube yet. So it's like 8 gigs was a lot.
Standard def.
Yeah, 8 gigs was a lot of storage to have. It did shoot HD if you wanted it, but you didn't need it. So you start with what you had and go from there. But I really, really loved, like, my passion for YouTube came from watching other creators do creative things. And I love, still to this day, finding channels that do things different. So, like, I'm a big fan of Did You Know Gaming, like a lot of people. That one's a really cool one. Gaming Historian, I'm a big fan of. I wish he released more videos. He does one like every 2 to 3 months. It's like, fuck, they're so good. But his take a lot of research and time to do. AVGN is one that also I
always enjoyed AVGN.
Started later on watching, but his production of it, and like, it's always those people that do something slightly different that you're like, that was cool. Like,
that's what stands out.
Yeah, and
Have you ever seen This Exists? You'd like it. It's a really short show, just one host, and the show is basically just like this dude scours the internet and has people suggest stuff to him for things that like seem like they wouldn't be real, and he just does his entire show about stuff that like shouldn't exist but does.
Yeah.
And it's just 10-minute shows, just 10-minute little segments. They're so well produced, but it's so fucking good. It's like legitimately probably my favorite channel outside of like any of the standard stuff. Like I think you'd like it a lot.
It's weird because it's for YouTube. As somebody who's been on the platform so long, as somebody who's used the platform for so long, and I need to show you at some point what the interface used to look like, see if you remember it.
I remember.
You
used to look like Yahoo.
You say that, but do you remember the original? Because it's sketchy. But no, so like YouTube as a platform though has changed so much, and it's weird because like as a creator right now, I think when I got in the first time, and I think the reason my channel got the traction it did was because I hit the sweet spot. Like that early or that mid 2000s, like after Google had taken over all that, was like that's when the channel definitely, or the website went from like, I mean, YouTube was big before Google took it over. Google didn't pay 1.6 billion for no reason.
Yeah.
But Google definitely took it up a notch, and it's good and bad because it brought money to the platform, but now look what it's done with bringing the money to the platform.
Money controls the creators, and that is a bad thing because anything that involves you having to try and make a living off your content and having to try and force yourself to get as many views as possible is stifling to creativity.
And as I say, I think it went from being a platform where people just showed the creative work to being a platform now that is very formulaic, very much of like this is the do's, this is the don'ts, and you can always buck
people that approach it differently.
You can always buck the mold, but at the same time, it's just like,
I mean, we have a green screen based chat show that we do based on video games. Like we're totally part of the problem when it comes to like, you know, like stuff that you've seen before. I mean, we like to think that we have our own unique takes on stuff and our personalities and stuff, which is what separates us out. But at the same time, it's not like we're breaking the mold as far as what YouTube can do. But then there's not a lot of mold that hasn't already been broken on YouTube.
There's a new series, and I don't know if I want to say it publicly yet, just to make sure if somebody's listening, they don't steal it. But there's a series I'm working on. I got the props for it going forward that I'm excited to record the first episode of, just to see how it goes. Okay. Because it's probably gonna be a shit show.
We're gonna try and get it interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Because we love our podcast. That's our bread and butter. But you know, we started branching out a little bit into like review territory. We're doing a lot more of those now, and they're doing really well. No commentary,
which is funny because our reviews used to be the worst one, which is why we dropped them.
Yeah, but I was doing movie reviews. I think is what it was. It was like, because even though I think they were exactly the same style,
different audiences.
Yeah, they're different audiences, and I think that the game reviews are doing really well. The no commentary stuff is doing really well because for some reason people like that. I mean, we do enough talking during the podcast that we don't have to talk during the gameplay.
And one of the things we talk about is like, we don't make like I feel like when we make podcasts, we don't make podcasts like, hey, this will be really good on YouTube. We make podcasts we want to listen to. Yeah. And ironically, one of the things that still surprises me to this day is that the audio audience, say that 10 times fast, is easily outgrown the YouTube audience, and it's a shorter lifespan. Yeah. Like, that's the crazy part to me, is like, YouTube, to me, the way I look at it is the primary stuff for YouTube is the supplementary stuff for the podcast, which is the reviews, the no commentary, this new series I'm working on, the James, we just did a colorblind mode in Destiny, those kind of things that you can't do in an audio format. Versus the podcast, I feel like we think of it, we always say everything has to work in audio. And if it works in audio, then the video is just enhancing that experience, and it's how you want to consume your content at that point. So it doesn't surprise me, but it does at the same time. Where it's just like that's not something I
I love
expected.
That that's a thing. I love that that's a thing. I would like to be able to engage those listeners
somehow.
More,
yeah.
Because I feel like YouTube is our main platform, so it's really easy for us to engage people on YouTube because there's comment and we
it's right
reply.
there.
But with stuff like iTunes and stuff like that, there's not really an easy way to engage those people. So if you are listening and you want to engage us, we would love
Discord,
to hear
Twitter.
from our audio only folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like join the Discord, and it's in the description for every audio and video release that we have, and also Twitter, Level 2 Gamers STL. Like, hit us up and let us know if you're listening instead of watching. We'd love to know you're out there and why.
We know you're out there.
Yeah, we know you're there, Japan. What's up? But like, let us know why you're picking audio over video, or what it is that you like about the show, or just so we know how to sort of help cater to you guys as well. Because as much as we love to do the video stuff, and that's really, I mean, that's the most fun part for me, is editing and things like that, which is weird because I used to hate it. But well, I didn't even know how to do it. But I'm also interested in like the listeners and like
and
what they get out of it.
And for us, one of the things I think, and I don't want to speak for you, but you can agree, and I think you will, is for us, we don't look at ourselves, at least I don't look at us as YouTubers. I look at us as content creators. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what platform we're on. We just want to give you the best content we can with that. And that just happened. We started on YouTube, which we've talked about it many times, how we went from Let's Plays to where we are now. Which seems so long ago.
There's so many iterations of the show, but it's like I think we landed on a sweet spot where we have our two main things that we give a shit about, which are indie games and VR. Mm-hmm. Those are like combined between me and you, the two things that we enjoy the most. I think you've kind of taken more of a slant towards indie, and I've taken more of a slant towards VR.
And that's partially because that's the shows we host.
Right. So you
and also VR partially has not gotten me. There's nothing too exciting for me in VR land.
Because most of it's hard.
Yeah, then that's the thing. Like, if it was just me hosting it, I probably wouldn't play half the games.
Yeah, so those have kind of been the routes that we've taken, and then this is just the kind of like, well, this is us. This is us as normal people talking about things that are interesting to us or whatever. And but the other content, we do want to spread the channel out a little bit more. We don't want to spread it too wide, I think, because if you cast too wide a net, then you don't catch as many fish.
Yeah.
But it's or at least the fish don't hang around.
Specialization is a big thing.
Yeah, and that's like niche stuff is really where it's at, and indie and like VR is niche.
It's again the number one. It just passed number one video on our channel is the how to make a Hong Kong PSN account. Mm-hmm. Like that kind of. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because there's a need for that, but at the same time, it kind of surprises me, if that makes sense. Like,
well, we made it because we were always talking about how our content is super disposable because the podcasts are weekly based. Mm-hmm. So except for like these ones, except for our level 2 podcast, but like the indie and the VR ones are weekly based, which means that once that week is up, the content is basically outdated. That's not to say you can't watch some back episodes if you want to see some footage of whatever,
or to hear the topic of discussion.
Yeah, but it's but like it does have a timestamp on it. So we wanted to create content that was timeless and that would be something that could bring people to the channel and hang around for that type of content. So things like the reviews, the gameplay, the tutorials, like Dave's run through of Hitman, that kind of stuff. Like all that stuff is really there to give some longevity to the content that we have. So
it's exciting. This was
things are going really well right now.
This is a tangent from what I used to watch on YouTube to level 2, but it's really weird because the thing. Well, no, we steered that direction, but it's really weird to think because I think 9 times out of 10 the things that we ended up doing happened by accident. We're really good at falling into accidents, Tom.
Yeah.
Not like poop. We don't fall into poop because that'd be gross.
Yeah.
But like
happy accidents.
If you think about it, like. When we brought Jordan on board, he gave us the long form videos, and I never thought to do that. And you know how it was dead set I was like, it has to be 10 minutes, it has to be 15 minutes. Like, that's how it's got to be.
There was many an argument to be had back in the day over
but we've since kept that format, and then we went, let's try podcasts. And that podcast, I remember sitting on your couch over there, and it's really weird looking back at, and it's only been, 3 years, but looking back at, not even 3 years for the podcast. But like looking back at like the one we did with Jake, with talking about
the round table.
Yeah, with gays in video games and having it in there, and now being in our studio. And I use that again in quotes because people think it's amazing. We have a studio. I was like, it's actually a really tiny room with a green screen that makes it look deeper.
Everyone that comes in here is like, whoa, you record in here? Like, I thought it was so much bigger. It's like the TARDIS.
Yeah.
It's the reverse TARDIS. It's smaller on the inside.
Yeah, smaller on the inside, bigger on the outside. But I'm also proud of that. Like, everything we've done to this point, I feel like we've had a reason to do it. And we've had many discussions, like any content creators have to, of like what's working, what doesn't. And it's, again, the reviews, I feel like you just kind of started doing them again.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, they're working. So I was like, you know what? Let me try one. I tried the one I did before this, I can't remember what the name of the game was. It's the platform or the Super Meat Boy style one. Wasn't very good. Can't think of the name of it right now.
Yeah, me neither.
But I really enjoyed doing the one for Air.
M++?
Yes, M++. The one for Air I enjoyed doing, and I feel like I'm now a little bit more confident in doing it.
Well, your issue has always been that you don't. It's not that you do not have a confidence problem. Believe me, you just have a confidence in vocalizing
my thoughts,
content, and your thoughts. So
in a coherent manner.
That's the thing. Could talk for days, but if I put a script in front of you, then you're just like you don't. It doesn't gel well with you. Like your brain moves faster than your mouth does, so you read ahead and then you get lost and stuff like that. So it's a skill set that can be learned, but also I think that it's a practice makes perfect, and I think that you definitely, like, the last review was great. I liked everything about it.
And the other thing I think we do really well between the two of us is the fact that we let ideas happen and see what happens. Like the series,
never afraid to try anything.
Like the series I've got, again, I don't want to say what it is yet because I want to get a couple episodes in the bank before I upload them. But the series I'm planning, there's a bug that just landed.
Not no more. Sorry.
So the series I've got coming up, like, it's something I've been wanting to do. I wanted to find a way to utilize what we've been supporting already and what we've been doing already and make a bigger statement of it because that's something I'm passionate about. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I don't want to put a date on it because I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm hoping to record the next episode or the first episode next week. Doesn't mean it's probably going to be I'm going to guess probably about a month because I don't have a backlog.
Per usual, we'll give it a shot for a while, see what happens, see what the views are saying, and we'll go from there. And that's just kind of how we run the channel. It's just kind of like, let's throw this out there, see if it sticks. If it sticks, great. If it doesn't, let's change it up.
Cool. Speaking of changing up.
Change up.
That was Keegan's Corner. I don't know how far we are into this podcast. I don't have the timer on.
43 minutes.
There we go. So let's do the Great Moments Gaming.
Actually, my section is pretty short, so it shouldn't be.
Your section's pretty?
Yeah. It's pretty and it's pretty short. So what I want to talk about for the middle section is this is kind of it is like a great moments in gaming, but it's it's a great moment in gaming franchise history, or great moments in a gaming franchise history. One particular gaming franchise, of course. And the reason why I bring this up is because I was thinking about the other day about games that have kind of changed my opinion on what games could be and things that have affected me greatly. I was just sat here thinking, what can I do for a great moment? And there's been many, but I decided to choose this series because it has so many small great moments that all add up to this kind of legacy of just completely bizarre but totally memorable moments.
When you say small, Little Big Planet.
No.
Damn it.
So first of all, before I get into it, I'm going to be talking about some of the weirdest moments in gaming history and fourth wall breaking moments in gaming history. Do you have a guess as to the genre, as to the franchise that I'm talking about?
It's Deadpool is the first place I went to, but that's not a franchise in games.
Fourth wall.
Yeah. That's definitely...
Think about a crazy video game maker that loves to fuck with people.
Kojima.
Yes. So we're talking about the Metal Gear franchise today. And there is a fact list of basically 41 of the coolest moments in gaming history. Obviously, I'm not going to go through and go and speak individually on every single one. I do want to go through the list, but I'm just going to stop on a couple of them.
This is from IGN as well.
It is.
I feel like we should give credit to them.
Yeah, sure. IGN, props to you guys for putting this together. But so the thing about Metal Gear Solid franchise in general is that it's kind of renowned for not only having one of the most convoluted stories in the history of video games, but also having some of the most batshit crazy moments in the history of video games. So we're going to dwell on a few of these and talk talk about them. Other ones, frankly, I don't even remember happening, but the ones that I do remember are going to be cool to talk about. So let's start off with number one, which is letting the end. And by the way,
spoiler warning.
Oh yeah, plenty of spoilers in here. If you haven't played the Metal Gear franchise, skip forward. Letting the end, and by the way, the end is the name of a boss. I know that's like a weird sentence, but letting the end die of old age by either letting a week pass mid-fight or changing your console system clock. So this deserves better explanation. So the end was a boss in Metal Gear Solid 3 that was an old guy, bald head, long gray beard, just super like old dude, who was a sniper specialist. And you had plenty of boss fights in Metal Gear 3, the end being one of the most difficult ones if you did it the traditional way. Basically, you would get into this large open area of forest where you would suddenly get shot at by the end and have to hide. And then he was on the top of this giant ridge, and you could like just about see the shine of his sniper rifle. And you had to figure out how to stay completely camouflaged all the way up this mountain to him, where you could take him out, either via sniper rifle shot or just like stabbing him in the back while he's like looking down, looking for you. The neat part about this boss battle was that you could skip the entire thing simply by pausing the game for a week. Like, and then
you're not playing your PlayStation 2.
Yeah, when you came back, it was PlayStation 3, I think.
PlayStation 3.
When you came back to it, he was dead. From old age, which is just the stupidest fucking thing, but it's so Kojima to throw that in there as an option. You could either change your system clock as well, like they mentioned, but yeah, so I did it the hard way. Like, I actually tried to kill him, but yeah, someone found out that if you just kind of paused it and left it for a week, then he
So I feel like
died.
what happened there for the person to find out is they went on vacation or something.
Yeah, right.
Just never
like,
turned it off.
First of all, how the fuck do you figure that out? But secondly, it's hilarious.
And why would you pause it halfway through a boss fight unless I bet you they got grounded. That's what happened.
Maybe
they got grounded. They didn't clean the room. They didn't do something.
The fight, like, and then they had to go and look, and they were like, "I don't want to leave this fight. It's really important." And they came back, and they were like, "What the fuck, man? He died." So, or unless either that or someone from Konami told somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one of the most interesting boss battles of all time in the fact that you could literally run out the clock on this guy's life and just let him die of natural causes, which in a way is more poignant than actually having to have a sniper fight with him. So that one I wanted to stop and dwell on for a second because that's one of my personal favorites. And speaking about crazy boss battles in Metal Gear, we also had Psycho Mantis reading your memory card and pretending to change the channel on your TV. So the Psycho Mantis boss fight is most younger, well, I guess older now, gamers, one of their most memorable moments because what they did or employed during that from Metal Gear Solid 1 was they would have this boss character, Psycho Mantis. He was supposed to be like, could read your mind. They would allow him access to your save states on your console, so on your memory card, so he could read your memory card, and he would be like, "Oh, I see that you like to play like Castlevania or whatever," and you'd be like, "What the fuck, dude?" Like, and he, like, you would wonder how he knew this shit, and it was because he was reading your save state, and you would try and fight him, and he was like, "No, I've disabled your controller. You can't do anything," because this is all fourth wall shit, and so to beat Psycho Mantis, you actually had to physically unplug the controller from port 1, put it in port 2, and then you could beat him because he could only control the one port, so you could like take over. I mean, talk about breaking the fourth wall and trying to beat a boss
again, how do you figure that one out?
Again, it's just like one of those things. So the other thing, and this
does it work if you have, so here's a question, would that work if you had two controllers plugged in? Like, do you just
I guess you would just
two?
use the second controller. Yeah, it would work. But the first controller would just get blocked out. But like along those same lines, and this is not actually part of the list, but something I remember. Like you said, how do you figure that out? There was a thing that me and my buddy, when we played through Metal Gear Solid 1, were trying to figure out for like an hour, and it would say you need to dial the codex number on the back of the box, and we searched around this entire fucking game for every box we could find looking for a codex number until we realized it meant the back of the game box. And you could see,
which sucks if you got to use the game with no box.
Right, exactly. So like you would look at it and you would see like the number for the character was called Deep Throat that you were trying to like contact, and there was, sure enough, like one of the pictures on the back of the box was the codex number for Deep Throat, and you're like, fuck me, like how clever is this guy that he makes you like utilize real physical things in the world to try and beat the game. So I thought that was an amazing moment. But yeah, Psycho Mantis, that whole boss battle was a big one for a lot of people. Number 3 was the Colonel's I Need Scissors 61 Freakout. We'll get more into the Colonel's Freakout later. Liquid Ocelot using Sons of the Patriots to disable everyone's firearms. Number 5, Metal Gear Solid 4's loading screen tips. Avoid playing when you're tired. Which was, standard stuff. Number 6 is the one that deserves the explanation, which is in a part of the Colonel's Freakout, and that is Fission Mailed. So,
mission failed.
Yeah, so there is a moment during the end of the second Metal Gear game where the Colonel, who's been giving you kind of advice throughout the game and saying, hey, go here, do this, do whatever, kind of your overview guy, has this complete mental breakdown in the game. I think it's supposed to be like he's getting hacked or something, and he starts just coming out with like nonsensical phrases like that scissors one. And there's a point in the game where you're fighting and then it looks like you died, and usually when you die it says mission failed, but instead it said Fission Mailed. So you're sat there going, the fuck? Like, did I die? Yeah. Did it glitch? Like, what's going on? And it's all part of the grand scheme of fucking with you in the game, which is, again, is a signature of Kojima. So, yeah, so the Fission Mail death was not a real death, and you would suddenly just be, like, fine again and keep playing. Dude, I was so close to turning off my console at that point because I was like, I didn't fucking die. Like, I'm real mad. I was getting real fucking head up about it. It almost reminds me of the middle of Batman Arkham Asylum, where they redo the intro and they make you think that you failed the game, and then like you notice that the intro is different a little bit, and it's actually just again fucking with you.
Yeah.
But Fission Mailed is a huge one for Metal Gear fans. 7, Johnny Sasaki's recurring and embarrassing shenanigans in the first 2 games. 8, Johnny literally crapping himself during a mission in Metal Gear Solid 4. 9, Naked Raiden. Raiden is a character that you play through the first part of the second game, and everyone was pissed because okay, so you've got Metal Gear Solid 1, most popular
Snake.
game ever, and and everyone was like, where the fuck is Snake? And of course he does show up later, but still. Using the picture of the girl in the locker to embarrass Octagon into during the tanker mission. Psycho Mantis failing to read your memory card or moving the 6-axis controller after the Screaming Mantis boss fight. So that's part and parcel of the Psycho Mantis fight. This one I want to dwell on, that ladder scene in Metal Gear Solid 3. So let me explain this to you for someone that's not played this. There is, after a boss fight, particularly tough boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 3, there is a ladder that you have to climb. As you're climbing the ladder, the game's overture music starts playing, which is like a James Bond ripoff, because the game's called Snake Eater, so it's like Snake Eater. It's like,
I know the song.
Right. So you're climbing a ladder for like 7 minutes, right? Just continuously climbing this ladder while the entire theme song plays out from start to finish. And you're just like, does this ladder ever fucking end? Is this another weird Kojima thing? Like, am I supposed to stop and jump off? You start questioning your life and your reality and all your decisions to that point. But it's just like there's always a joke that one of the hardest boss battles in Metal Gear Solid 3 was the ladder, because it just took like 7 to 10 minutes to get up this fucking ladder. Again, just another.
Well, it's like the Super Mario 64 Bowser stairs.
Right.
That went on
It
forever.
was just endless. Yeah. Campbell, Mai Ling, and Naomi making fun of you while fighting the Hind D if your sound settings aren't set to stereo. Ocelot's weird Ocelot sound. The Ape Escape minigame in Subsistence. Using ketchup to escape from a prison cell. Always interesting. Fat Man and his roller skates. Naked Snake wearing the weird Raykov mask. The fact that the Pain shoots bees at you was interesting. The Pain was another boss during Metal Gear Solid 3. They all had like a the something name.
Yeah.
The Sorrows creepy Ghost River. This is one I want to stop on. So for those people that haven't played it, the Sorrows River was really interesting. Basically, at a certain point in the game, you get thrown into this river that you have to just walk upstream. You just wade upstream. But the thing about the river was that it punished you based upon how many stealth kills versus how many real kills you had done during the game. So you can play through the entirety of pretty much any Metal Gear game without really killing anybody. You can just like put people to sleep, hide them, whatever, knock them out. But if you're like me and you kind of like make one fuck up and then decide to murder everyone, then you've killed pretty much everyone to that point. the River of Sorrow is filled with the amount of people that you've killed in the game during that point trying to grab you. So if you haven't killed anyone, you're just walking up an empty river. If you've killed everyone, you just have millions of people trying to attack you during your walk up the river. And yeah, I killed everyone. So that was like one of the hardest things for me, was to make it through this river. And at the end, you get stuck and you don't know how to get out of the river. There's like nothing to do. You're just at the end of a thing. You have no idea what you're supposed to be doing. You've passed all the enemies, and then you discover that in your item inventory is a cyanide pill, and you actually have to kill yourself to get back to the normal world. So again, another weird fucking Kojima thing in there. Snake crawling through a microwave tunnel as 21. XOF patch dramatically popping out of your belt if you roll around too much in Ground Zeroes. Letting the wolf puppy pee on the cardboard box so it's easier to sneak past the wolves in the first Metal Gear Solid.
That I know about.
Fending off suicide geckos while Vamp and Raiden duke it out on the other side of the split screen. Sunny cooking eggs while reciting elements from the periodic table. The last boss of Metal Gear Solid 4 being played like a fighting game. So the very, very last boss, which is Big Boss in this game, is it's set out like a game of Soul Calibur. Like it's all like QCQ, like close quarter combat, and you're in this kind of beautiful field of like lilies or something, and you're fighting Big Boss, but it's laid out like a Soul Calibur thing, which is so weird. Making awkward codec calls from the bathroom in Metal Gear Solid 2. Mice in the vents getting the exclamation mark alert above their heads, which is a staple of this series if you're unfamiliar. Basically, whenever anyone spots you, they get that noise and the exclamation mark above their heads. Mario and Yoshi figurines in Emmerich's lab in Twin Snakes.
Tries to get away with that.
Yeah, right. Although they did use Snake in Smash Bros, so maybe that was a trade-off. Manipulating the projectors on the tanker. Creepy singing AI pods in Peace Walker. The hack and slash nightmare sequence in Snake Eater, which was really rough. It like turned into Devil May Cry for a second. Recruiting Hideo Kojima in Peace Walker. Rescuing Kojima in Ground Zero's Side Op. The secret theater of humorous cutscenes in Metal Gear Solid 3 Sustenance. Recreating classic Metal Gear Solid scenes in the Deja Vu missions of Ground Zeroes. Erasing the Kojima Productions logo from Ground Zeroes in the Deja Vu mission. The Vox engine getting infected by Fox Die during the Deja Vu mission. That was a weird mission in general. Getting scolded by Rose and the Colonel for shooting seagulls on Big Shell. Monster Hunter style quests in Peace Walker. And the hidden Keratan frogs in Metal Gear Solid 3. So, all in all, that's a list of 41 batshit things that happened throughout the Metal Gear series, and that's the main series, the side series, Peace Walker, all that fun stuff. But just wanted to talk about that for a little bit, because I think it's, despite being a very obviously well-known franchise, people don't realize just how fucking weird it is, and just how many crazy things go on during those games. So if you are a fan of retro consoles, and you have never played any of those games, or if you can find remasters, I heavily recommend picking up, at very least, Snake Eater, the third one, because that one was probably, in my opinion, one of the better ones of all of them. The story is kind of disconnected from the main convolution, and they had some really cool mechanics in there for things like camouflage and stuff. Like, it would show you the percentage of how camouflaged you were based on what color you were wearing and where you were in the grass or the sand or whatever. Really smart gameplay. But yeah, that's a shout out to the history of weird in Metal Gear Solid franchise.
It's only going to get weirder because he no longer has Konami behind him.
Oh yeah, it's going to get way weirder than that.
I mean, if the first, 3 trailers are any indication?
Yeah.
Fetus Norman Reedus
and all that stuff. Cool. So yeah, that's that. It was a bit of a short one. Sorry for that, but we are running low on time, and also Metal Gear is just weird. Just play it because it's an awesome series.
Just play it.
So I had a choice of a couple things that I wanted to talk about for my Tales section, and I decided to go with learning to play CS:GO with a keyboard and mouse. So those of you that have been watching the show for a little bit of time know I am a very avid fan of CS:GO. However, I've never played it until recently. So I am a huge fan of watching it as an esport. I had never played the game, but something about watching people play that game made me really, really happy, and I don't know why.
Because it makes you think you can do things that they can do.
Kind of, yeah. Like
then you get in, you're like, oh fuck.
So just watching it makes me so happy because, like, you know, the players are really cool, but like, you know, having like favorite players and favorite, like, knowing who's good at what and actually learning the ins and outs. This is my football. Like, I grew up hating sports and not really like enjoying football or any sports at all. And even when I moved to America, which is like Sportsville, you know, I watch the Cardinals games and stuff occasionally, but I really don't get it, and I really don't like care enough to get it.
You know, this time of year is the sports season because you got basketball, baseball, football, and hockey all at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, it's the first time in, I think, 30 years that all four major sports are going on at the exact same time.
But it's like, it's this thing where
Soccer
I
doesn't
know
count.
For some people, it's their life. Like, they support their team, especially in England. They support their team to death. Like, they care about every statistic. They care about all the transfers. They care about who's doing well this week, who's doing bad this week, like, who's not been on form recently. And those are conversations I could never have because I didn't care enough. You know, I just didn't give a shit. And it's not really my fault, I guess. I just
You're a bad Englishman, Tom.
I would much rather watch like a poker game on TV and that kind of stuff because to me that's
With
far
Mike
more.
Sexton? That's his name, right? World Series Poker? Not World Series Poker. World Poker Tour. Mike Sexton is the commentator for World Poker Tour.
He is, yeah, and he's good too.
I used to watch the shit out of that.
Dude, I love poker. Like, I love playing it, but also I could watch it. I at one point in my life, I downloaded, like, I want to say 70 gigabytes of poker just to watch, and it was, like, stuff that was, like, years ago, but I just wanted to watch more poker, and it didn't used to be on TV a whole lot. So I got into it, and I started watching it, and, like, even though, again, it's not really a sport, that was the type of shit that I could get
Daniel
into.
Negreanu.
I would follow Daniel Negreanu, Kid Poker, and all the other guys there. I liked Devilfish was one of my favorites. He's an English guy. I think he's dead now. But sorry, Devilfish. But yeah, I loved it, and you know, I got into it because I learned the personalities, I learned how they played, and it made it more interesting for me on an intellectual basis, as opposed to, you know, you don't have to score a goal, you have to outplay the opponent's mind, which was always a fun thing for me. So esports clicked with me in a way that I didn't think it was going to. I honestly thought I would hate it. And for whatever reason, I ended up watching some random CSGO game. It was like, I think it was a live game. And it was like, I was looking through YouTube Live, like, what can I watch? And then I saw this thing, and I was like, I don't like MOBAs. I don't like League of Legends or Dota or any of that stuff. But I do love FPS. I do love shooters, aside from Overwatch. And because that's still a MOBA to me, because you have healers and stuff. There's no healers in FPS. It's kill or be killed. So I was watching the CS:GO, and I got super into it, as you know. And now I have like a favorite team and favorite players and all that kind of stuff. But my dream has been to actually play the game because I haven't had a chance to do it yet. So I bought a new laptop a while ago for our show, for recording, and just because mine was getting a little bit old. And then I followed it up by buying a keyboard, a mouse, and a mouse pad. Now, permit me a moment while I fuck up our green screen, but I'm going to go around here to the camera.
You didn't plan ahead, did you?
Not at all. But this is my boomstick. No, this is my little setup that I have, and it comes in a handy bag. Now, audio listeners, you're just going to have to imagine how pretty everything is. But this is my handy travel bag for when I'm a MLG Pro. And so this is the one that I opted to get, and I'll find like...
I'm trying so hard not to judge you right now.
You judge the shit out of me, dude. I don't care.
Dude, why'd you roll it up? You can't roll that shit up.
It came rolled up, dude.
I know, but it's not supposed to be rolled up. It's supposed to be flat.
Well, it'll be flat when it's on there. So this is my keyboard.
I like how you have the WASD all lit up.
Yeah, right? So I changed those keys out myself. I was pretty proud about that. And they have a different texture to them so that I can tell where I am. Remember, I've never played keyboard and mouse.
That keyboard looks real. It's got a lot of travel to it.
Oh, yeah, these are big.
What's
you want to tap on it?
What brand is it?
What brand is it?
HyperX?
It's Hyper. Yeah,
It's heavy.
It is a little bit
It's
heavy.
Because I have a Razer. When I got into PC gaming with whatchamacallit, with Arc was the one I got into. I bought a a keyboard, because a Mac keyboard sucks for gaming. Like,
Right.
if you're going to play it, you got to get a real
Yeah,
one.
that's exactly why I picked up a keyboard. But, like, FPS games tend to have, like, clickier keys.
Yeah.
They're noisier
Which
keys.
sucks when you're recording, because I remember recording some videos and be like,
Yeah, it's super noisy. So yeah, I got the HyperX Alloy FPS mechanical gaming keyboard. Is the full name of it apparently. Now those keys weren't always red. I actually had to replace them, and it does light up all pretty and everything. But I replaced them to help me learn, because I knew that if I had a different texture on WASD, then it might be easier for me to find my way back to it if I'm not looking
you don't
at
go
it.
that far, though.
Yeah, I know, but this is
that-
for someone that sucks at
that
fucking
far.
playing keyboard and mouse. So, so I picked up that keyboard,
And play Overwatch on keyboard and mouse and get owned.
and I also picked up the SteelSeries Rival optical gaming mouse, which, by the way, this Velcro is like some of the hardest Velcro I've ever seen in my life. So that's this guy right here. You can play with that.
I have a
Shot
Razer.
the
I have a
camera
Death
there.
Adder is the one I've got.
The Death Adder was one I debated, but a lot of
what I
people
got.
really like this.
The reason
one.
I got the Death Adder is because I already had the Razer keyboard, so I was like, I'm going to keep it the same brand.
Yeah,
And the other reason is they both light up green.
fair enough.
So
I think I can change what lights like it does. It can also make it like do pretty patterns.
Yeah,
and
mine does-
everything.
yeah,
I'm
mine
not
does that too.
fussed on that. I don't give a shit.
it was good though. Like when I was playing, so like when I played Arc,
Yeah.
what I did is I had it light up the button I just pushed, so that way I can see like, oh, I just pulled that one, or whenever I'm playing a game, I can see which button I just pushed to activate on a bar. Like when I played WoW, it was for that month, 2 times I played it. It was kind of nice to have that. Like, oh, I just did that one.
I don't know. There's something that there was a calling that I had that was just like, okay, I have to at least try this. So for
I
the
didn't
first
realize they
time,
have a Windows button now on here.
you can disable that. Yeah. So there's you can like hold Shift and press that little F12 up there, and it makes it gaming mode. So it disables the Windows button, so you don't fuck anything up. But I have a Mac, so it doesn't do anything anyway. But so yeah, Mac gaming all the way, guys. I don't know why I did that, but I do have a pretty powerful MacBook. It's a 15-inch, the new ones with the touch bar. It's got 4 gigabytes of VRAM in it, so it's powerful enough to play fucking Counter-Strike. Right at this point, a toaster can play Counter-Strike. So I picked up these things. The other day, my wife was doing some stuff upstairs. She was selling some clothes or something. And so I came downstairs. I was like, you know what? I'm going to set these bad boys up. So I set them all up. Why are you judging me? I set them up.
Because I know how this is gonna go.
What? You think I'm going to get bored?
You know how hard a first person of all the games to start with on mouse and keyboard, first person shooters are the hardest.
That's the only game I want to play, though. I literally don't give a shit about any other game. That's the one I want to play. I want to play Counter-Strike. So, no, wait, because I haven't finished my story yet. You know, I'm in the middle of my tale. So, so I bought this stuff, and it wasn't that expensive to buy it all. And so I set it up for the first time last night, actually. And so...
Do you have any sort of configuration issues with the keyboard when you plug it in for the game?
No.
Since it's Windows?
No,
'Cause I had
just
that
knocked it
sometimes.
right out.
When
Yeah, it was
I
perfect.
booted up on Windows, I had no issues, but sometimes
was-
my Mac would have issues.
It was weird because there's two in the plug for it has 2 USB ports that are supposed to plug in at the same time. I just plugged one in and it was fine.
Well, some of them have pass-throughs, so you can plug like your mouse into your keyboard.
yeah, I think that was
That's why-
you can also charge your phone or
Because
something.
that's what mine has. Mine has so my mouse doesn't plug into my computer; it plugs into my keyboard, which then both USBs are plugged into my computer.
I guess I could
Because
try
my cable from my mouse is only like that long.
that.
I-
That cable's fucking huge.
Yeah, which
But-
is why I like it because it's not in the way.
But yeah, so anyway, I'm not going to go online and start playing competitively or even
not?
casually. Because I would just get I can't even move, dude. Like WASD is hard as fuck for me. The spacebar for jumping was like that took a while to get to grips with.
Thumb.
The control or whatever this one is. Yeah, control is crouching.
Yeah.
So but I couldn't figure out things like
just
how do
pinky
I change to a Molotov? Like I couldn't figure that shit out. And there's no controls anywhere for me, so I guess I don't think it's tab.
That's usually what it is.
It
to
might
open
be.
up inventory.
It might be actually. Now you mention it.
Yeah.
I pressed Q a couple times. It didn't.
I always get the issue running into caps lock. Like when I go to like in Arc or something, I'd go to tab to open
Yeah.
my inventory to hit caps lock, or any other game for that matter.
I know that B is to buy in a round, and then you can click what you want from there, and escape is to get out. I know the E is to plant or defuse a bomb. So there's a lot of easier things than I thought. I always figured like planting a bomb was going to be like a super hard ordeal,
No.
and then like
That's why- 'cause you have 30
literally just go
buttons.
to an area and hold E, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, this is easy. So what I did was, and what the beautiful thing about Counter-Strike is that you can set up offline bots. So I was like, all right, this is how we're going to start offline bot mode. So I like, set them all to easy. I didn't do harmless because I want him to be able to kill me, but I don't want to make it, you know, too stupid. So I set him to easy, and I started, and this is my journey. This is the start of my journey that I'm sharing with you right now.
How many times did you die?
Enough. To the easy bots, but you know, I also slayed a couple times with that. So I got the
easy bots.
Shut up! I got the AWP. The AWP is the sniper, the best sniper rifle in the game, and those players are the players that I love the most.
Is it right click? What's zoom? Look down sights. Is
right click.
Right click. Look down sights.
And it's twice, so you can zoom once, zoom twice, and then back out. I know there's a way to zoom once and cancel, but I don't know.
It's not a hold.
No.
Okay.
You click it once and you're in. But like I don't know how to get out of it without doing a double zoom.
We should do a recording session where you play and I play and we see who's better.
Sure. Yeah, I'm down.
Just because I've WASD'd before. I'm not great at it, but I've done it.
But remember that, like I said, this is all new to me. So I really badly want to teach myself how to keyboard and mouse. But I mostly.
You have Subnautica.
No, but I want to do Counter-Strike like that. You can see it's on my fucking desktop now. Yeah. Like that's the only game I have, and that's the only game I want to play. So I'm gonna keep playing Counter-Strike.
Did you buy it through Steam?
Until I'm an MLG Pro.
You got it through Steam?
I did, yeah. so here's the thing, though. Like, I really enjoyed it. Like, even though I was playing easy bots, and the nice part about the bots, by the way, is that if you die, you press E and you take over another bot and just keep playing. So, I really enjoyed it. The movement took me a while to get used to.
Strafing.
Yeah, strafing sucked. Like, I can't do the AD thing that they do. Like, because they call it AD, right? Which is where you're like, if you're at a corner, sorry, microphone. If you're at a corner, I apologize to that. No, sorry, listeners and or microphone. You're supposed to do AD, which is like, you're kind of like, you know, peeking, basically, they call it, around a corner. But it's not as fast as you think it is. Like, when you watch people do it on the esport, they're like they're going back and forth really fast. I was like, I couldn't do that. I felt like it was taking too long to go back and forth.
They probably don't release the keyboard or the keys the whole way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there must be like an art to it that makes. Why is your jaw moving while you're doing? You're like tweaking on meth right now. But like, there's a way, I think, to do it that, like, yeah, like you said, like you don't release it the whole way and you're just kind of strafing a little bit. But
they've also done this motion a lot, probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they did. It's something that every single professional player does, and I was trying to like try it a little bit. I didn't need to because I had the easy bots on, but I was like just trying to sort of get a feel for it and see what it feels like. So my plan is to basically start off by just playing it lots of time with the easy bots, getting used to the controls, and switching to like trying to get to use like smokes and molotovs and actually get that part of the game down. Then I'm going to raise the bot level up a little bit to a little harder, and then to like really hard, and basically get to the point where I can play the hard bots and like hold my own a little bit. Then, and only then, will I maybe consider jumping into a casual online game and seeing how I do. Because I know that a lot of Counter-Strike is like microphone based, like you're a squad, so, and it's also like a really toxic fucking community, so I just don't want to be garbage when I go in and just get fucking cussed at left, right, and center. I want to have like some semblance of ability so I can at least get a couple kills and just feel like a little bit good about myself, and then I'm going to continue playing in those kind of patches until
in 12 years from now,
until I can do competitive. I know, dude, I don't care if it takes 12 years. I'm gonna be MLG Pro. I'm gonna be up on stage at the ESA. You know, it's funny as well because the real reason why I bought this keyboard and mouse was because my favorite player uses this keyboard and mouse, and I was like, you know, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna use the shit that I know is like supposedly the best shit to use. So I bought those, and my wife laughed when I said that, and after I played by myself down here for a while, I go back upstairs and I was so stoked. I was like pumped. I was like, I got to play Counter-Strike for the first time. She's like, oh yeah, were you as good as your guy there? And I was like, not yet. Like, I'm getting there. You know, baby steps. But I really enjoyed it, man. I had a great time. And
is it running in Counter-Strike? Shift is usually run.
I couldn't figure out run.
Shift is sprint usually.
Usually?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out.
Because you want to go between these ones right here.
Yeah.
This is the section of the keyboard you want to hang out in.
Yeah, I tried shift. I don't think it worked. So
because usually it's left shift is run.
Yeah, sprint. I'm gonna have to dig into like the controls.
There's the controls section settings.
Yeah, but I couldn't. But it was all like tweaking like sensitivity and stuff. I couldn't find the one that was just like these are what you press.
Watch this.
I'm sure the internet will have it.
I will find it for you. Updating Steam.
It's always fucking updating. But yeah, like I couldn't really find it. So I just was trying to figure it out best I could. Like, most of the time it would tell you what to do. Like, if you
You have 2 new items in your inventory, Tom.
if you were by a bomb site, it would be like, hold E. So I was like, okay, cool, that's how you plant a bomb. But there's nothing that's like, hold this to run or whatever. There was none of that at all.
Because you should also be able to customize them. That's what the advantage of a... Oh, God, your mouse is teeny tiny.
I don't necessarily want to customize
No,
it.
but that's where there should be settings to be able to do key bindings.
Yeah, because a lot of people do like opposite setups. Like they'll use like the U key. Like I forget what it's called.
Oh God.
Yeah. Or like some people would just use the arrows.
Yeah,
Like,
I used to play. I played a lot of games with the arrows back in the
don't
day.
think I
But
could do
but
it
the
with
problem
the
you have with the arrows is you're not near any other buttons.
Yeah, right. So I don't know, but
Oh God, you're in weird game mode.
this is how it starts, man.
Let's see. Let's go under options. Oh look, there's one that says keyboard and mouse. Oh look.
Oh shit! It does.
Oh
have it
look,
in there.
key
What's
bindings.
What's wrong?
Walk is shift.
So do you think if you hold shift, you'll stop walking?
I don't think
Is that how
I don't
that
think
works?
there's a run.
How do you cycle grenades? 4?
0 is Molotov cocktail.
No, but
Cycle
it's
grenades is 4, but go directly to
like
Molotov
the
is
number
0.
4.
Yeah, the like number 4.
Okay. Good. Good
It's
to
usually
know.
the number.
Oh,
1.
you can choose which one you want to go to directly. That's handy.
So tab is your scoreboard. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're welcome to keyboard land, Tom. I mean, you can change this to whatever you want based on how you play. But
Neat.
yeah,
Yeah, I gotta change the sensitivity because I definitely wasn't able to like move as quickly as I wanted to left and right.
oh yeah, I
now.
turn it up all the way pretty much.
Yeah.
on most of them. Reverse mouse would be weird.
Good to know. What's acceleration amount? Do you think?
I assume how quickly it goes up to,
Interesting.
because you have mouse acceleration and you have it off right now.
Can you tell how fucking novice I am, guys, listening and
I
watching
can
it
definitely
now? So anyway, that's my story. It's a short one, but basically I am going to learn how to play Counter-Strike. And if you are watching or listening and you are not an asshole and you want to help me learn how to play Counter-Strike, I would be totally down for that. Like if you can do a private server or something and show me some ropes, I'm totally down for that. So you can help me beat MLG Pro.
I'm gonna play around here while the video footage is importing and see how well I do.
Sure, yeah, you can totally play it. So that's our show. Sorry, it was a weird one, but that's level 2 podcast 44 and under wraps. If you want to help me be MLG Pro, hit me up, Tom at level2gamers.com. If you want to help Keegan do his
Keegan
laundry,
stuff.
Keegan at level2gamers.com. We love you guys so much. Thank you for all the support. Don't forget that yesterday Codename Morpheus went up 14, and I believe it was episode 10 of Indie went up on Wednesday, so check those out too. And of course all of our no commentary and reviews and things like that. We love you. Share the word. Have a great evening, and as always,
Welcome to the second level.
bye.
I'm gonna fucking own this.
No game, but they saying welcome to the second level.